I am Mayor Mark Northrup. This is the Hudsonville City Commission regular session dated May 12th, 2026. Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Commissioner Bullheis?
Here.
Branson?
Here.
DeBrey?
Here.
Rope?
Here.
Camp?
Here.
Nitre?
Here.
Mayor Northrup?
I am here. Would everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now is a moment of silence. Since I didn't get any feedback from any commissioners, I just want to speak a little bit. Many of you know that I served in Alaska several years, and when I came back from Alaska, very operational command, living on the edge, no time for sentimentality. And when I came back, the States ended up working for an old Air Force colonel. Not Andrew. He was a very old Air Force colonel. And on my birthday, I got a sentimental, glowing letter from him about my birthday especially. I thought, what is this? So I took it to my dad, who was also an Air Force officer. He was not really a sentimental guy. He was all brass nuts. And I said, Dad, what is this? And I showed it to my dad. My dad said, oh, no, Mark. The most important day in a person's life, and the day children. And it made me realize in our lives, we have to carve out times for being sentimental, including myself. So today, I wanted to dedicate our moment of silence for those that have birthdays in May and have children born. Parents. And anniversaries in May. We all know it's a thing. I have a brother who's estranged. I still call him on his birthday in May. Say, Scott. So today, tonight, we're going to have a moment of silence for those birthdays. Thank you. Thank you. Now it's time for public comments. If you're not on the agenda, you're welcome to approach the dais. Seeing nobody approaching, we will move on to the consent agenda item. There are 6 City Commission regular session minutes dated April 14th, City Commission special session minutes dated April 28th, DDA board meeting minutes dated April 15th, Planning Commission meeting minutes dated April 15th, and the accounts payable, payment of the bills, $402,957.37, and ACH $145.23.69. Yes.
You know, that I added.
You failed to approve. I failed. Well, I got this out. The Mayor Pro Tem asked. That's a new process. So.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda for today's meeting.
I'll second that.
Then move and support. Agenda stands. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The agenda is approved. Moving on to the consent agenda item, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Support.
The move is supported. Are there any changes? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The consent agenda items carried. Moving on to a presentation recognition of the City Finance Director, Treasurer, and his CPFA certification. Do you have a copy of that pulled up?
No, they haven't mailed it yet.
Oh, they haven't mailed you the certificate?
Just the announcement letter.
How many years have you been working on that?
That one takes a little over 2 years. The other one took 3 years.
How many hours did you spend?
100 hours in class. A long time, over the 3 years.
Well, we are proud to have you here and know we really support you in education. And is the certification actually a requirement, or?
This one was not. The other one that I received at the same time was a high requirement to obtain that. So, but it's good. I mean, it's very good information to have.
You learn more things about how to count the team.
Exactly, yeah. And how to, protect us a team from things, all that good stuff, yeah.
Well, congratulations. We're proud to have you on that. Moving on to departmental reports. The fire department, chief, you're up. While chief's coming up here, I want to thank him for allowing the Sea Cadets to handle fire hoses and put on breathing apparatuses and the gear. It was really a great event for the Sea Cadets.
Yeah,
so
sounds
thank
like they had a good time.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, the guys had a good time too, so that was good. So the report for the month of April, I want to call your attention to a couple of errors. First of all, there were 61 calls for service, so 1B would be 61 calls, not 60 as it's in the report. 61 calls. That brings our total year-to-date at the end of April to 229. So a little bit behind last year, but right on pace with 2024. And I will say that over the past 2 weeks, we've been catching right back up. So it has been busy. And then number two, the training was actually for the month of April instead of month of March. We had a couple of trainings in there. The Life EMS report is also in there. Once again, not the numbers that we were hoping for. So I do have a meeting scheduled with them. Won't be this week. It'll probably be next week before we can actually get the meeting scheduled. But they know we want to meet and we want to discuss ways to work on that. So we'd like to see that number in the higher 80s, and we're in the mid to upper 70s now. So, which just means that we're waiting a little longer than we would want to for transport. And then the last thing on the report, we talked a bit about personnel. We had one cadet that stepped away because he moved away from the area, and we're also working on a couple other possibilities. So we've had a little interest of late, which is good. We'll take that. So working with Andrea on that process as well. And then the fire truck, I did have a meeting with Spencer. We kind of went through a few more things. The time is getting close to when they're going to start on it. The chassis, of course, is done, but the pump and the boxes and all that stuff on the back of the truck, probably going to be starting 1st of June-ish, and then we'll be ready by September, October, more likely October, when that's going to be ready.
So chief, is there any chance we're going to have to do some modifications, come back for more money, or are we locked in?
So as of right now, all of the changes that we've made, and they are changes that we wanted, has been covered by contingency. So we are setting good yet, and it is still our goal to come in within the budget that was approved. So we're not over the finish line yet, but things are looking good.
Change orders are notorious.
I know change orders are always fun, right? Yep.
Anything for the chief? Thank you. Have a good day. Yep. Lieutenant. Get it right.
Good evening. During the month of April, the Sheriff's Office responded to 2,004 calls within the East District, up quite a bit from last month. We responded to 173 traffic crashes and made a total of 870 traffic contacts, so got right after the traffic this month. Deputy Tyler Miller, who is one of the deputies here assigned to Hudsonville City, actually took the first place spot for traffic contacts out of the entire county. So he hammered some traffic out on 32nd Avenue and got after it. For Hudsonville City, the Sheriff's Office responded to 223 calls for service. In the month of April, we had 132 traffic contacts, so that was up roughly 50 from the previous month. We had 20 crashes and responded to 33 medicals.
I just know that traffic stops are really needed in 36, Van Buren, 36. You know, we have so much more traffic.
For sure.
See us at their raceway to the intersection. You know, our children are walking out.
Yep.
And our wives are driving, our families. This is a serious thing. So
Yep.
You can tell them thank you from us for that enforcement activity. We desperately need much. We know that it's only going to get worse. Comments there? Keep up the good work. Before you leave, I see you have a black tape across your back.
It's for Corrections Memorial Week.
Oh.
And then this week will be Law Enforcement Memorial Week. We'll be holding a memorial service at the Sheriff's Office on Fillmore at headquarters at noon on Friday. So just to pay respect.
Very good. Thank
You bet. Thank you, guys.
you. JJ?
Evening, everybody. Standing in for Dave tonight, who is at the first of many meetings of our summer event schedule for the county. Just going over some of our activities for the month of April. During our regular department meeting, we had some first aid certification we had to catch up on. So we went through a Stop the Bleed segment. So the whole team is current now there, and we've got CPR and first aid training coming up throughout the summer. We had our first siren test of the season, believe it or not. So April through November will be the siren tests. So first one went well. We've got looking at some upgrades to that system as well that are in the plans to get a little more polygon. You see the warnings come out with the polygons, and our system is set up to be a segment of the county, so we can control sections of the county, but this will be more precise once we have that upgrade. So working on that. Had a couple of activities, just some monitoring severe weather. Had some more substance abuse training at the county EM meeting. So they like everybody to know how to use Narcan. It's a little more prevalent now. So
Have you used it yet?
I've not had to use it. I keep some, but I've not, knock on wood, not had to use it. But we all know how. We're all trained to do it. And then we finished some testing of the new radio equipment that Bill King and Dave have been working on, the high-frequency radio equipment that will enable kind of a higher level of emergency communication. So if all traditional communication means fail, we can actually become a hub of communication for the amateur radio frequencies, those high
That improved with the new tower?
The new tower factors into it, but we've been able to do the testing with the tower we have and a temporary high frequency antenna. If we get any deeper into the details, I'll need to. That's Bill's department, but I know that the testing went well, and he's working on training some of the department staff how to operate that equipment. So, any other questions for us?
Thanks, JJ. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Moving on to departmental reports, City Treasurer's Monthly Report, April. Andrew?
Thought you were skipping me, yes. I'd be happy. The report here, April, I made this report before we got our state shared revenue, so April's revenue is actually up a little bit more than the 44,000 shown, so we're a little over 90% collected now for revenues and about 77% for expenditures, so we're tracking well there. We might need a couple last minute budget amendments just for a couple departments, but overall the budget's pretty good, and we'll just keep an eye on those departments that might be close. As you can see, our trend is right there in the middle. The blue line for 23-24 is bigger because we took out that bond or purchase agreement for Jipping, so that's why that one looks like we made more revenue that year, but when you account for that, then this year, we're tracking above previous years. Let's see, what else? Our interest is starting to decline a little bit as, rates go down. We're not getting that 5% anymore, but still about, I think our average is 3.5%, so pretty good. Longer term rates are coming down quite a bit for those yields. And then, as you can see, I handed out the budget. We don't really talk about it today, but I gave you a little snapshot of the Fund 101 as well. Just kind of seeing where all the money goes, department by department. So, hopefully that helps a little bit in your looking at the budget. But I think we're available for questions up until next week, or maybe we answer all the questions next week. I'm not sure which way. Either way.
We have our budget meeting.
Budget workshop will be May 19th, which is a Tuesday at 6 PM is what I'd recommend you guys, but.
A week from today, yeah. So we'll go over the budget in depth there and answer any questions you have. I think we worked on it pretty well. This went well. It's my third, Tyler's fourth budget here with the city. So I think things are starting to click and we know what to expect and what to look out for. And yeah, it's just getting better every year. So.
And just piggybacking off of Andrew, any and all questions, it's a workshop. And there'll still be some nominal changes this week, and we'll cite those before the budget workshop as we clean up some numbers and just make sure accuracy, especially with revenues and expenditures where it's a little bit tighter. And then from the 19th all the way up to your June 9th regular meeting, based on the feedback from the discussion that we have at the budget workshop, we can still make changes then. But at this point, there should be no surprises. I think Andrew and Ashley have done a great job. Our department heads have done a great job as well. But there will be some shifting of numbers, but where we do that, we'll be sure to explain it.
Any questions for City Treasurer? Hearing none, we'll move on to the Economic Development Director Report, the grant track.
Good afternoon, or good evening, I suppose. With the grant tracker, a couple of updates on the calendar year 2026. A couple of denials that I don't have on here, just with when the turnaround time was on the grant tracker getting submitted. So the AARP park benches and then the Dollar General Literacy Foundation grant, we did not receive either one of those. Yeah, I was gonna say, so if, I know you have a contact at AARP, we did not get much explanation. So if you want to reach out, I'd be happy to sit down and talk a little bit more about our application. I would just make the guess that there was a lot of communities applying for similar applications and they had a certain amount of funding, and where we fell in that list, I'm not sure. So if you want to reach out to your contact, I'm happy to have a conversation and
I'll leave it up
what
to
we
you.
can do to clean up
I'll
our.
let you make the call, but not go into it. I'm surprised.
Sarah and I were a little upset to get that email, but with the bad comes the good, right? So we've got 2 applications for this year's Match on Main funding. So we went with 317 Coffee and Huddy's Ice Cream. So with Huddy's, they're applying to put retail windows in on the Harvey side. So really looking to activate that new that new space that we have downtown, put big retail windows in there, see that activation, see the mural, see folks in there grabbing ice cream. And so that's their application. And then 317, I applaud their application. They saw what you could apply for, and they applied for almost all of it. Facade improvement on the inside and their menu boards, to security cameras, and improvements to the outside of their building as well. What the MEDC has told us is we can submit 2. We know that not both are going to get funded if either one of them gets funded. There's a limited pool, and as we all know, the MEDC funding, I'm not going to say it's dried up, but they've been significantly reduced in the year and a half that I've been here. So grateful that they still have Match on Main as a program around, and I think that's going to be one that sticks around. So now that we've got one under our belt, I'm excited to see where we go with it this year. And then just a couple other things pertinent to the grant tracker. I've been getting feedback on our applications for federal funding requests. So far, we're batting 0 for 2 on that, but you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, right? So outside of that, I know we talked about this last week, but the last one that I have on there is the CIP improvement. So that is actually funding from our RRC technical funding for being an RRC community through the MEDC. So shout out to Sarah Steffens on that one, just making sure we know the timeline on when that funding dries up and when it's available for us again. So excited that we're able to get that funding on the current round before that resets for the next 5 years. And I'll take quick questions real quick if there's anything specific to the grant tracker, or if not, I'll just kind of do the 1990s SNL, de Bulls to Bears bit with the different hats that I wear for the city.
I just want to applaud you. I know that you can be disillusioned by making an application. That takes the wind out of your sail. It's easy to try to give it up and rationalize. But you made the point that unless you try, unless you get back to the batter's box, swing again, you're not going to hit a ball.
Yep. Well,
So-
and the nice thing about this too, with some of these grants and actually the attenuator truck that we've applied for that we'll find out hopefully this month if we get moved to phase 2, that's a federal grant. But with some of the language with opportunities like that, I'm not recreating the wheel depending on what project it is. There are some of these that I've got a base template saved, and then if we can stretch that and Hudsonvilleize that to different grants and opportunities, that's what I do. So we're not necessarily making fire every day, but it's a nice foundation to build on for the future, absolutely.
Very good. Any questions, Grant Tracker? Hearing none, we'll move on.
Yeah. So on the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, that will be the third hat once the board's actually there and in place. But I've been working with Kirk from Fishbeck and his colleague Susan on updating and cleaning up our bylaws, and then setting term limits as well. So once we have that pass through, and then get our first schedule, looking forward to working with Kirk to find out what our first project's gonna be with our own Brownfield Authority. On Terrace Square, we talked about this at length last week. Hoping in the next week or two, certainly before the end of the month, we will have a signed lease. That is my hope. You are all kind of well aware of where we're at in that topic. Currently, they have the second draft of that lease. We are waiting on their legal team to look through that. But it looks like everything on paper has been a fairly solid agreement from our most recent meeting last Monday. So I know Commissioner Groot's been very involved in that and grateful for his relationship to keep us on the ballroom dance floor this long. So
Been quite a journey and a lot of effort. Jack, thank you. And Jake, you too. I know it didn't just happen. There's a lot of commitment and hard work on both you and all the staff.
Yep.
Hopefully we're approaching the end of this tunnel.
Absolutely. And then just a quick note on Lakeshore Advantage. So Colin Cady, that's one of their business solutions managers. He goes out and does retention visits. I've been with Colin twice in the last month. I've got another scheduled to be with him probably in the next week or two out at Proper Beverage. But him and I sat down with Bill at White Flame Brewing and Darcy from Quadrum Coffee Roasters last week just to talk about where business is, the opportunity to scale, doing different things like that. Is there an opportunity for them to look at a future space around the Village Green as we build out the downtown? So different resources and connections there. I know Dan and Sarah in the Planning and Zoning Department were invited. I was invited as well, but I'll be at the conference on Thursday in your place, Mr. Mayor. But Lakeshore Advantage, and actually their newest employee is a Hudsonville native, Chris Marco. He is their community development director. So he's going to be hosting a discussion on housing in the region, and I know Dan and Sarah are going to be there for that. So we are active with Lakeshore Advantage. Just want to throw that out there that I've worked closely with Colin in the time that I've been here. It's a valuable relationship, but certainly I think there is some things that we can look at internally of some of the work that I do compared to what they're looking at and what they're providing from a regional perspective. So happy to have that conversation at next week's budget workshop as well. On the downtown development side of things,
just wait a
really
second.
the big update.
Jacob?
Yeah.
What's our membership cost, Lakeshore Advantage? You know?
We invest at $10,000 right now.
$10,000. And I really like them, but I don't see them doing much activity on this side of the town. Just don't. That's been a source of.
Yeah, I would invite
and
and encourage you to welcome them in for a presentation.
and not to put them down. I'm just asking the question: what do we have to show for our investment, Lakeshore Advantage, that impacts the community? Because we've been paying that $10,000 ever since I've been here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing the fruits of that money.
I come from the EDO side, so I can speak both sides of that. But certainly, I would encourage us to welcome them in and come give a presentation and ask that question to them directly. Just wanted to share my piece of the work that I do with them. On the downtown development side, so this is a switch from DeBulls to the Bears here. talking about the Triangle property, we have the purchase and development agreement still in front of them. I'm sure we're all aware too that there's a parcel, the Muffler Man property on the corner of that little land strip there that is for sale in a portfolio. The asking price is a little bit higher than what I think most people were kind of thinking it was going to be. The developer that we're working with on the P&D agreement, they have made an offer on that property. To our knowledge, they have not received a counter offer or anything like that. So at last week's DDA meeting, we had a discussion about what's the risk and reward, especially with some of the EPA funding available through the county right now with the federal funds for the city or the DTA or the DDA to look at exploring picking up that property, doing environmental remediation, making that a little bit more palatable and appetizing for a developer, and certainly hopefully the developers we're already engaged with on some of our development activities. So an ongoing discussion I'll be having with this board and the DDA over the next coming months as well. And then on the big cheese, as I call it, the Village Green, we approved our consultant, the Veritas Group / Civitas Strategies. So looking for a build out over the next couple of weeks. We got a SharePoint from our contact Pete, so I'll be working with him over the next couple of weeks to build that out. We're going to have a steering committee, probably 6 to 8 people, and then a stakeholder committee, which the number I'm going to say could go up to 30 on that. We don't want to be herding cats every day, but it's going to be a big project that's going to have a lot of stakeholders in town. So excited to officially launch that in the coming weeks. And then just related to all things, kind of catch all of the work that I get to do, good, bad, or otherwise, I'm going to get to see the old stomping grounds of where our city manager's from. I'll be going to a conference on June 3rd and 4th in his alma mater, in his hometown. So maybe I'll get to learn a little bit more about what makes our city manager tick. I will take notes for anyone. So if you have questions, that's why I got a hotel room. I'll be there the night before. If I need to go out and do research, I know you all have questions, so just let me know.
I don't see any Buckeye Red.
You're welcome.
You're missing the water bottle. And then just a couple of things in the queue. I talked about public art and kind of teased that last time. I sat down with Planning Commissioner Thomas Verstraete and his wife last week, had almost a 3-hour conversation about kind of a grassroots coalition building out public art and what that can look like for our community, from professional artists to engaging with students in the technical center, welding programs, sculptural elements, different things like that. So really looking forward to building that out and kind of having a year one launch with public art. And then in the last couple of weeks, we've had 2 different ad hoc liquor meetings for the Alcohol Control Board. So something I've been working and going to work with our legal team on is to build sort of what I'm going to call a one-pager or a growth plan for liquor licenses. As we've talked about, we are tapped from a quota license right now, but we've got opportunities in the downtown district for development district licenses, which we've got one on the agenda later today. And then looking outside of that, outside of the downtown district, there's a different type of redevelopment license. Gets in the weeds very quickly there, but there are 2 different types of redevelopment licenses that we can look at. So as our population grows, we will get more Class C quota-based licenses, but in that time frame before we hit those population thresholds, we still do have opportunities with downtown redevelopment and redevelopment licenses very broadly. So looking forward to putting that in front of this commission and then any prospective business owners looking to come into town, potentially opening a restaurant, a tasting room, or anything that's going to be serving beer or alcohol. So that is the laundry list I got for you today.
Real quick, can we just go back to the Triangle property and
Yeah.
the Muffler Man piece? And Jack, if you want to jump in here, you can. But that was quite a discussion with the DDA and the board on the DDA, recognizing that it does, even at a high price, represent maybe some opportunities.
Absolutely.
Can we at least get a first right of refusal on that property? Is that possible? And is that something we could get or not?
I don't, with it being listed right now, I don't know that,
Yeah, I was going to say, with it being
I think
listed
it'd
in
be a little bit late
portfolio,
right now.
Yeah.
we can certainly make the approach. Whether it's received or not, I'm not sure, but we can try.
Because we know that's not the best use of the property, that's all. for the long haul for our city. It's a nice piece of property.
Location. Port.
Any questions for Jake? You've been busy? Thank you.
I have been.
And we appreciate everything you've been doing for us. Thank you.
Happy to come up and answer any questions on the liquor license discussion later tonight as well.
Well, I think we're going to talk more about it. We're going to vote on it tonight, right?
Talking about number 10.
Yeah, just a resolution tonight for
Okay.
Rock and Tie.
So just hang around. We probably won't have any questions. We haven't talked about it
Yeah,
already.
yeah, I'll be here.
But you can hang around. Moving on to new business, is there a motion for the traffic control order, please?
Make a motion to approve temporary traffic control order 26-01 for full road closure of Harvey Street from School Avenue to Plaza Avenue on July 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. for happenings. in Harvey.
Support. Been moved and supported. This is what, the third or fourth year we've done now happening in Harvey. We know that there's a lot of foot traffic in downtown. This is a critical piece of that safety. I assume, if I look at the memo, I'm sure there were some lessons learned over the previous years we applied to that aspect. JJ, I'm sure your guys are involved there, right? Yeah.
First event not happening in June. Traffic control, we have the barricades in DPW, but we do use the EOC for concerts in Veteran Park,
Okay.
starting in June.
We don't use it for the happening.
No, because the street closure on Harvey is pretty simple. But, you know, now that we're talking the Village Green in the future, we have to look at our assets, the programming, and safety. So that discussion is going to ramp up to some degree, but for right now, for what happens in Harvey is, we don't need the EOC. Love you guys.
Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, can I do a voice on this, Jill? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to the next agenda item, which is the joint employee agreement. City of Hudsonville and Hudsonville Area Chamber of Commerce. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the joint employee agreement with the Hudsonville Area Chamber of Commerce and authorize City Manager R. Tyler Dotson to sign on the City of Hudsonville's behalf.
Second the motion.
Been moved and supported by the members of the Personnel Committee. Oh, you're not. You were. A while back, yeah. This is kind of boilerplate. We've been doing this for years, standard agreement. What is it, 40?
It's 50-50.
50/50. I don't think we can go into details of the amount, but it's all available in the budget.
All available in the budget, and what this says, it just takes what we're doing right now, puts it on paper where the chamber and the city, hey, we have an agreement in place. It's worded, we wrote it in a way where there's some flexibility between the chamber and the city as we work towards the future. But no crazy changes by any means in terms of our relationship with the chamber. It's healthy, it's great. Chamber's doing some great work, and it's a partnership that I applaud the city for engaging in.
So there's, 2 employees are on that?
2 employees, and this year we moved forward in securing an intern as well for, as we beef up the events, there's just a lot, there's more moving parts.
A lot of stuff.
Yep.
Any questions on the agreement? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Nitre,
Yes.
Branson,
Yeah.
Bullheist,
Yes.
DeBrey,
Yes.
Rote,
Yes.
Camp,
Yes.
Mayor Northrop.
Yes, motion carried. Moving on to item number 8, is there a motion for plan?
Make a motion to approve distribution to the notice group required under section 4.12 of the Michigan Planning Enabling Act for review and comment on the proposed City of Hudsonville Master Plan future land use map amendment, which would redesignate a portion of the rear yard of 5150 and 5180 40th Ave and a portion of 5235 Park Ave from industrial to parks.
Second.
Been moved and supported. I was not present at the planning commission meeting. However, I did speak to the chairperson at length about how it went. this was the second time it came to the planning commission. The first go around, it was our understanding that the houses and the residential aspects would not be there anymore with this change. They've come back, and the change is only on the back parts of the lot for an additional industrial building to support their nonprofit, but it will retain the front of those properties at this time, which I guess are still industrial act, right? But it will retain that new rental home still. So those homes, although they're kind of older, but they're still part of our housing stock. So a lot of discussion when it, initially I told at the first meeting I didn't think that it would, when passed the city commission, the planning commission wasn't really supportive of initially. They talked about it. They came back with this revised proposal. Planning commission was unanimous. So there's really no impact on the city in terms of lost housing stock or any rezoning aspect of that. There's one slice that gives them the opportunity. Any questions here? I think if you do, we have to get Dan.
I have one.
Yeah, Dan, come on up.
Very simple question. I don't know if more getting
Oh, well,
the use of this property currently isn't really changing other than the fairgrounds.
say that again?
The use of this property, fairgrounds going to assume the use of the property were before the industrial.
So yeah, the back part is the backyards of those homes, so now their goal is to move, they have a campground on their property, their goal is to shift
Expand
that
that.
to help improve the space around the site.
Is this something that fairground is going to come back to the city in the future asking more from this industrial zone? Sure, and are we setting precedent that maybe we don't want to establish that been considered or discussed?
I mean, there was good discussion at the planning commission, there was concern about the loss of housing, loss of industrial land. So with this, it's open space that's lost. Another element too, though, is they could take the houses down, and use it for a maintenance building, which is something they've talked about, and we couldn't do anything about that anyway, because it's zoned for that.
Correct.
But for now, their goal is to get the campground to shift over onto those backyards.
And the fairground owns that property currently, or did they recently acquire it?
Their goal is to acquire the property. And the person who owns the property wants to sell to them.
Oh, he does. It was my understanding he won't keep it as rental property for a period of time yet.
Dan, my question is just on the order of operations on this. I'm not used to changing the zoning for, before someone actually owns the property for that use.
This is a master plan amendment too, so, and just on that too, this is like the second step, so this goes back to the planning commission in a couple of months if it gets approved tonight for a public hearing, and then after that, the next step would be to rezone the property. But
So this is not
Do
the
those
final-
typically?
It's
But they
not
would-
final action.
no.
Yeah, I guess I'm just curious, they don't line up with what appears to be parcels. So is that typical that we have a master plan that doesn't line up with the current parcel map?
And that's okay. I mean, their intent is to do a land division that would then line up.
Yeah, I guess I'm asking about the order in which we do that. This seems cart.
Well, if it got denied, then there would be no point to changing lot lines. So it's okay to do it this way. Zoning lines, master plan lines don't necessarily follow parcel lines.
What's our typical procedure?
Well, we don't, and this is typical. There's
Okay.
nothing wrong with doing it this way. I mean, typically you're selling a lot, buying a lot, but if you're selling a part of a lot, it's okay to do that.
So will the fairgrounds own that property by the time they come back for final approval?
I don't know the dates of that. Aaron Nykamp is here from the fairgrounds, but they've been talking, so that is definitely an expected
Because
step in the
that could be a
process
hold,
before
what I'm
they
hearing
use
is
it.
that could be a holdup up here.
Yeah, well, before they use it, they'll own it.
Well, according to the park map, they
Yes.
acquire it back.
Correct. The north part is theirs, yes. The east part is not.
I agree, the north part is theirs ready. Zoning that, because they own the property. The backyard owns half. The front section of the home are rental property.
Yes, in those, it doesn't matter who owns it. If the homes are rented, they're still on the tax rolls.
Our future land use has this as,
Correct, that's, yep, it does.
what is our appetite? I mean, what's other businesses from selling their, what's our appetite for keeping this industrial?
And that is something the planning commission talked about. That was a concern, the loss of housing and the loss of some industrial land. But it was weighed against the value to, the worth it was for the fairgrounds to be able to do what they would like to do to make their property better. So ultimately, in the end, they decided it was better to allow the fairgrounds to do the changes to make, move the campground over so they had more space through the property to make it flow better and better campground.
Mr. Mayor,
I didn't realize how big a deal camping is fairground. It's getting greater.
Mr. Mayor, can I add a quick comment? Commissioner, great question. And that's something that I encourage you all to think about, even outside of what's presented in front of you. A very good community fair, very good fair. Because of that, growth is something that they want to do. Growth is something we want them to do. The economic impact of the city, the activity, the sense of community, hit a lot of check marks of things that we like to see. But as we talk about the property to the south of the north parcel, and then the portion of the two parcels to the south of that on the side, we have an industrial building south of that. We have school property south of that. What is the future of that hold? What is the city commission's appetite for those? Because that would be what's next. We know they want those houses. And then, and we brought this up and had a good discussion with Aaron at the Planning Commission, is, in 10 years, are they going to look to absorb all that property? And then what's next? And so one thing I encouraged Aaron and the fair to do is, I know it's across the street at 32nd. They've used parcels in Georgetown Township for parking, but to think bigger than just the city property that's directly connected, and how to get creative with other property in the township as well. Consideration for you guys to think about is industrial space in the city is very much limited, and maxed out. Those are local jobs, good jobs, but we have a robust fair. And now we're talking about housing too. So I'm not going to offer thoughts on one direction or another, as much as I'm offering considerations for the now for you guys to think about, as well as think about into the future, because most likely this won't be the last time that the fair looks to come to the city commission for something such as this. So both now and in the future, just things to keep in mind of what you guys value and what you want to see. That way we can communicate it, work with all the area partners, landowners, the fair as well, from a staff perspective.
And Dawn, you mentioned, is it going to set a precedent? And they've talked to us before about other property that they had interest in taking over, and the answer was no before. So, next time they come before us, it's going to be a separate independent decision as well. So saying yes today does not mean we have to say yes in the future either.
Okay, I'll follow up on that. Why was the no given the last request?
The last request was for homes along Grant Street. So the thought was we want to keep the housing along Grant Street.
Something that Tyler brought up, and I guess I would like to echo, I think, is not to lose sight of the programming that the fairground is doing and the benefit we receive from that. Even of last winter when they brought in that light show, how many thousands of vehicles came, and we would trust that a percentage of those wandered into Hudsonville. And so I don't want to get lost in what the economic benefit is for the fairgrounds and what they add. And I hate to lose any taxes, but like any development, we have to look at the trade-off sometimes, and that programming they're doing has been a great benefit and is increasing to the city.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Branson?
Yes.
Grote?
Yeah.
Bullheis?
Yes.
DeVray?
Yes.
Camp?
Yes.
Nitre?
Yes.
Mayor Northrop?
No. Motion carries. Move on to the next item. 40th Avenue resurfacing from Grant to Chicago Drive. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to authorize resolution number 26-1832, accept contract number 26-5138 between the Michigan Department of Transportation and the City of Hudsonville for construction work on 40th Avenue, Grant Street, Chicago.
Support.
Been moved and supported. There is a memo. You want to talk? We came under budget.
For this one, grant funded, $223,859. It was awarded roughly 3 years ago. If you've been down that section of 40th Ave lately, you can understand why residents are emailing and calling me about this project. If you recall, last year we did consider when the funding opened, or even going 2 years ago prior to it opening, about cash funding it and doing it in reimbursements. But with the other matching grants that we've got for cash flow purposes, we need that. So this is on the docket. We received a NEPA approval back in February. Because this is federal money, there's a lot more paperwork and items that are needed. But if the city commission chooses to go forward, which is my recommendation, we'll be looking for a late summer or sometime in the fall completion. If we get the green light here, we'll probably hold a pre-construction meeting sometime mid-June to mid-July. In the June letting that will be coming up, we did have language in there to make sure that we're avoiding the fair week, week before and week after, just to make sure that the fair can, operate like they need to. There's a chance we get it done before the fair. We may look after the fair, but there's other considerations. So we'll work with the contractor on that and those dates, and we'll get those to you if this is approved. But just want to give kudos to Bob Miller formerly, Dan Strickwerda, Sarah Steffens, Jacob, we've talked about the grants. This is just another way we are stretching our road funding and our tax dollars to get more done with less resources. So kudos to everybody there. And my recommendation is to approve the project, and we look forward to getting that done.
Any discussion? Everybody's clear in the motion? Hearing no discussion, roll call, please.
Commissioner Camp?
Yes.
Nitre?
Yes.
Bullheis?
Yes.
Branson?
Yes.
Wow. Well, you said
Roads are
yes.
exciting.
So, Commissioner Grote?
Yes.
Mayor Northrop?
Yes. Moving on to the next item. Item 10, Rock and Tie Development District Liquor License. There a motion? Who was on the board? It was
I am.
Tobin and Jack and Dave, right?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 26-1833, approving and recommending the issuance of a Class C Development District liquor license for Rock and Tie LLC.
And move support, I want to thank those who served on the ad hoc committee twice in 1 month. We go years without doing this, and we had 2. So I think we probably got a valuable learning experience. Protects, identifies the city to a certain degree that we had the commissioners examine this and understand the technicalities of it. Kudos to Jacob, they're helping us out. Do you have any comments there? I know you.
Well, this is an educational experience for all of us. We've done a lot of long term, very informative, very educational. Exciting to see what's happening. So it's great.
Yeah, Kong came in and, good operator, a lots of experience, comes from a family background of running restaurants. I've been there numerous times. They do a great job, and something like this is just gonna help them be more successful, and I think it's great for the patrons that go there. You know, the intent of it is really just getting a beverage with your meal. It's not a bar per se. So I think any restaurant today that, you know, is basically family dining and up really benefits from that, adding to their profit center. So glad to see it happen. Like Tobin said, Jacob did a lot of the heavy lifting and has had quite the learning experience over the last year, as we all have, but we've been relying on him for doing a lot of that heavy lifting, and I think it helps us for the future too.
Dan, what was the name of our sergeant 10 years ago? Sergeant Baglati. So, like some of us who've been around in the city for a long time, have been serving here, early on, we didn't have any liquor licenses here. Remember that?
Yeah.
And when I first became the mayor, I kept on going to Sergeant Baglati saying, you know, thinking that we had, for instance, alcohol, DUI, domestic violence. I kept on asking, what, you know, what's your opinion of it? What do you see? It's got to be worse now. Finally, he just looked me in the eye and said, "Gosh, shut up, Mayor," because the data showed there's no change. And I said, well, that's not intuitive. He said, well, think about it. If you're a local resident, you go to Granville and go to Texas Roadhouse, pound down 3 Long Island iced teas, who's going to stop driving home? If you went into a bar in our city or a restaurant, pound down 3 margaritas, they stop you from going home? There's a high likelihood. Not to mention, you wouldn't do it because it's your hometown. So it becomes counterintuitive when you have responsible opportunities for drinking and liquor and socializing liquor, it becomes more responsible and safe. And I had a hard time getting my head around that, but when you think about it, it's true. You know, if you're going to go celebrate the kid's baseball game and go to DJ and have a pitcher of beer, you're not going to abuse that. They're not going to let you. And if you did abuse that, they won't let you leave. So, you know, the whole alcohol thing, we all struggle with it, but we're not a college town. We're a family town. We're not gonna be like that. That's just not who we are. As evidenced by, you know, Dorados, they got their liquor license. You were there. Drilled them hard. Because I was concerned. Larry, you were there. Dan, you were there. Remember that? And how wonderful it's turned out. It's been a great restaurant. We attract people all over West Michigan to come to Dorado. Because it's responsible. They have great food. So, you guys all know I'm firmly supportive of these kind of opportunities. That's the only way we're going to grow our downtown environment. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I want a roll call.
Commissioner Grote,
Yes.
DeVray,
Yes.
Bullheis,
Yes.
Branson,
Yes.
Camp,
Yes.
Nitre,
Yes.
Mayor Northrop.
Yes, motion carries. Before we go on to the city manager's report, remind everybody Memorial Day is coming. One of our guest speakers is a renowned author who is a survivor, a Marine survivor from Fallujah, and a nationwide known speaker. The elected politician that will be speaking, Mike Rogers will be also speaking. So I look forward to having Mike Rogers there. It'll be a nice event, as you know, open house at my house afterwards. To attend and serve. I will be out Thursday, going to Colorado to celebrate family graduation. I'll be back
When will you be back?
Sunday night.
Sunday night is when you're
Okay,
coming back.
okay.
Thank you, Tyler.
Okay,
Happy
thank
to help.
you, Tyler. You got to keep my calendar.
Do what I can.
That's all I have, and I'll turn it over to Tyler. Well, let's go down the line. You got anything, Toby? Dave?
Yeah, I don't know if Jake was referencing this when he was talking about public art, but just west side of Fernando Solis's office, facing Fair Square. Whole side of the building, I don't know what you have, but really nice, great addition. That whole area, great.
That was funded through the Chamber's placemaking.
Very,
You gotta get a picture in the newsletter.
Well, when it's done, we most certainly will.
whole side of the building.
Cool. Yeah. Wait, where are you gonna be? You got anything before I turn over to the city manager there?
No, sir.
Gil? Yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. CBA discussions are ongoing. Continue to make good progress. We have our 5th meeting on Monday, May 18th. The current CBA with our DPW, large majority of our DPW employees expires on June 30th. So we still have some time. This is our 5th meeting, several hours, well, a few dozen hours on our end involved here. Andrea and Andrew have been great to work with and navigate this process. So hopefully we'll wrap that up soon. Jacob mentioned the Terrace Square restaurant space. A lot of time, a lot of effort to get here. We are at the last quarter mile of the marathon here. Really excited to get you a final draft of the lease agreement and be able to speak to the potentially new tenant. And are really looking forward, we move forward with the impact that they'll make in the community. It'll be a heck of an addition to our downtown area. And I want to thank Commissioner Grote for his efforts and Jacob for leading the charge there. Well done, gentlemen. My favorite update this month is DPW Director Vern Robbins will start on Monday, May 19th. We will probably plan an informal potluck or get to know ya thing at a time to be determined. Had a great call with him last week. And to give you an idea of the kind of gentleman that we're bringing here to lead our DPW department, he said, quote, "Tyler, if you want to start sending me some things in advance of me starting, feel free."
His number,
Yeah, I thought about it, and I don't think sending an entire set of Encyclopedia Britannica worth of notes and things that he needs to hit the ground running on is the way to really start the relationship. So in true leadership and good fashion, I'll wait till the second day that he's here before we throw that on him. Andrea built out a very good onboarding agenda. Department heads and staff have weighed in. We have first week, week 2, week 3, week 4, month 2, month 3, month 4. What order we bring him up to speed, what budget meetings and CIP items where we go. It's a push-pull. It'll probably take a little bit longer than we want, but the importance there is documenting everything that we want to expose Vern to and ease him into it as much as possible. But I can tell you that he's very excited to be here. I'm very excited to have him here, and I think he's going to be a great fit and a great leader. Really hit the nail on the head here from a cultural perspective for that department. So I'm very excited. I know John Grollo is too. We did have a new equipment operator start yesterday. I'm really looking forward to getting that gentleman working down there. Just adding the capacity on the department. It's been a long time coming. You received the draft budget. Any questions, comments, concerns, ugly, good? This is what a budget workshop's for. Like I said, there's going to be some nominal changes, what I believe to be nominal changes to it as we clean a few things up, finalize some numbers, but really look forward to a good discussion on Tuesday, 6 p.m. Shout out to Lindsay and Brenna, Terrace Square. I attended the Bloom and Browse event on May 2nd. It was a success, over 800 attendees, 30 plus vendors, some really cool stuff. It's not made in China, anything but. It's trinkets. And no offense to anything made in China, but the craftsmanship, the vendors that we brought in, just a high caliber.
It was well timed ahead of Mother's Day. I made hay and looked responsible.
Well done, and thank you for shopping local. Yeah. I attended the Library Advisory Board meeting last night. I like to attend the advisory board meetings, just to talk to people, get a temperature, what's making them tick, what do they like. And I texted Commissioner Nitre today, and the passion of that group, the support to Mary, the understanding of the budget, the questions they asked. I want to say I was taken back, but it made me feel a way that was very positive. I like when we have engaged and passionate residents willing to step up. And might have tweaked an opinion I had, Commissioner, on one item. I'm not going to say that out loud. But just exposure and hearing the discussion from everyday folks, I think that's really important and something I hope to do more of this coming fiscal year. But a great meeting. We talked the budget, talked about the future of the library, our operations, just great dialogue all around. And I want to let you all know that that's a really good group that we have down there. And so well done to you, Mr. Mayor, and commissioners for the appointments there. And Commissioner Nitre, really appreciate your involvement in leading that group. I have 3 things left. Today I attended the Gallagher Leadership Summit down at the JW Marriott in Grand Rapids. And it has an HR focus, and been doing a lot of HR work around here lately. I looked at trending data from the state and nationally, different considerations, the impact of AI on the workforce. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where we go as a society. But one thing I wanted to share with you, my biggest takeaway was a session I attended regarding employee engagement and delegation. And while that's not anything new, it's something that, as a leader, I'm constantly evaluating. And it really hit on the importance of empowering or allowing our staff to critically think, problem solve, and take ownership of various items. And so that means at times myself and even our departments taking our hand off things because we trust the individual. We know their combination of experience and education that they're going to do a good job. And when we can do that as leaders, we can keep the vision and what's next at the forefront and keep coming. And again, not rocket science by any means, but with great presenter from the east side of the state, hoping to bring him in here for something at some point. I just wanted to share that not only was it a great leadership summit to attend, but I want to do a better job of sharing what I'm taking from these things. And not sure how I'm going to apply this all yet, but the way it was presented was eye-opening to me. So it was time well spent. And then finally, just a reminder to you all that I will be out of the country starting on the morning of Wednesday, May 20th. And I'll be returning back to City Hall either May 28th or May 29th, depending on how I feel. Staff is ready, good to go. Budget's gonna be great. We'll have the workshop after there. I've talked to our department heads, we're ready to go. I'm not bringing my laptop. I will have my cell phone on me, but very confident in our staff. I am taking my wife to Cancun. I need this trip. So looking forward to that. A lot of work to get done before we get to next Wednesday. But just an FYI, but city's in good hands. We have a great staff. We're very fortunate. And that concludes my report. I hope so. I mean, I'm expecting that.
Anything else?
Why would you want to mess up such a good vacation?
Enhances, Commissioner, enhances.
We are adjourned. Thank you.